Before I start the video, I just quickly want to say thank you to everyone who watches my videos. I know I'm not that great in terms of creating quality content, and moving forward, I want to create things that I'm proud of, even if the video takes time, instead of some 1 minute video that feels like I have a soul into it. So, thank you for being with me. This community is awesome and honestly one of the best, if not the best. I love wholesome communities, I love Honkai, and I want to stay around for as long as I can. So, join the Discord, by the way, link will be in the description. So in this video I took a different approach. I condensed everything I wanted to talk about in this whole month, my experience with the latest version, that is 5.0. Let's talk about the feedback for this version. Overall, it was a very fun experience, especially playing the LCN Realm, aside from a very creepy bug that I will talk about later in the video. But I'm gonna go a little critical here. I really want to talk about our new addition, that is HOF, because I have one problem with HOF, and you guys tell me if this makes sense or not. I always try to be constructive and logical about my feedback, so here it goes. She uses a flaming greatsword and does crazy explosion on her ultimate and small explosions on her aerial combos. So, still for some reason she cannot ignite. This part of her just doesn't add up, just doesn't make sense to me. And I think if I have to be reasonable here, I can understand they don't want to make her overpowered, just a wild guess, but don't take that seriously. Other than that, I really have no problem with her. I'm not a meta competitive player. I just play for fun, and all the waifu I have, I love. Not necessarily have to be powerful, but how they, how their personalities are, how they play. Simple as that. So it doesn't really bother me. But every time I see that huge explosion, the ultimate, it reminds me of that she cannot ignite. So it will be really great for Mihoyo to do to add ignite to her combo attack, at least combo attack, or at least to her ultimate. So another thing I wanted to talk about is how people are reacting to her moveset. Some people say she has a moveset of complete copy of moveset of Himiko, which I totally disagree. If I have to compare her to anyone, I will compare her to the dude in APHO, because they both use some similar style in terms of aerial attacks and ultimate. It's pretty similar, but HOF does have a explosion on her ultimate. That's pretty much it, though. Uh, I don't know what that guy is saying about how Himiko has the complete, Kiana has the complete copy of a Himiko moveset. I just don't understand that. I'll say HOF is probably a mixture of Himiko, APHO dude, and HOV because of that snap. I love how HF can almost break the game by dodging every single attack if she is high enough in the air. And she can also use different sets of combo attacks if she is in air or if she is on the ground. Pretty neat. Her powers does have a cooldown. It's not a spammy like HOS, but it's definitely enjoyable. I love HOS, by the way. I wonder how many people watching this video are older Honkai players, because LCN Realm to me is like Matrix 2.0, and if you don't know what Matrix is, it used to be this huge part of Honkai Armada back in the early days of the game, and it's still in the game. If you are Admiral or Vice Admiral, you can go and where you build stuff in Armada, you can still see the Matrix slot in there in the blue. The most fun part about Matrix was how easy it was to combine all sorts of buffs and debuffs, signets, whatever you want to call them, and play hundreds of levels. Still remember I was like on 175-ish level in Matrix, and it was always a great time. No matter how much you play Matrix, you will never get bored of it because of the different combinations you could make, and there were a lot of combinations. That part of Matrix I miss in LCN Realm. Even though we have signets, we have different sorts of powers, but the problem with LCN Realm, I'm not even gonna, it's a problem, I like it, but everything is so restrictive in LCN Realm. Every single buff you get has a condition behind it. And that's the only thing that's stopping it from being creative. It is a great feeling about gathering different kinds of buffs and stacking them for a certain type of a character, but after a while, when you know what type of signets work on a certain character, you will not stray off from that playstyle. And moving forward, other playstyle just looks so weak, and it just devolves the creativity aspects of a game mode, which Matrix had back then. I'm not saying the LCN realm is bad because there are restrictive powers, but it also makes up for the powers that you get from LCR. For example, you get personalized buff and cooler abilities when you prop the different requirements. Because before in the metrics, the older metrics, there used to be powers, but they were raw powers. In this, they are very well constructed. That's the best way to put it. The new LCN Realm is a very well constructed game mode, and it is backed up by the lore of the game, the story of the game that I absolutely love and I adore it. I cannot wait to think where the game's gonna go with the new entities like mods and cocoons. I really hope the developers make a game mode up open world for the flame chasers where you can play the likes of Kaplas and destroy your whole device, whatever it is. I really hope they make a game mode where you can play as the flame chasers and you can follow their stories. We got lore. I'm in love with the lore and I'm fascinated by it. I never thought we would get this much amount of lore in a single version, and it blew up my mind. It's like Miho just came up to us and casually dropped a nuke on our feet and say, "Just deal with it." No, no, Miho, you cannot do that. I honestly love you, seriously, but you cannot do that. I know we're gonna get Elsia in the next version, but I want to know what more characters we're gonna get aside from Elsia that are flame chasers, because uh, we are just barely scratching the surface. It looks like that. I don't know. Maybe it's just a metrics type thing where you go in and you just meet them and you get out of that place. But I really we all want a deep dive with all these characters and their motives and their agendas, whatever you want to call it, and see their stories, their missions in the past, aside from just lore in the notes, which I actually loved. But still, I want to see them in actual gameplay, and I wonder how many more flame chasers we're gonna get. So that's one thing. Another thing that is really bothering me, that is, if flame chasers get into the game, if flame chasers came into Honkai as a playable walkthroughs, I can guarantee you that they're gonna be overpowered as the old walkthroughs that are barely alive. I'm not talking about the ones that are already dead. I'm saying those walkthroughs that are already barely alive, they're gonna die. Because you obviously know the flame chasers are overpowered. They fought the Hersher of Death, I guess. I assume. I don't know. But we know that Hersher of Death was the one that destroyed the previous era. And I want to see more about the previous era. That's the thing I'm most excited about. And I don't care. Mihoyo make a Honkai Impact 4th. I'll wait for it. I want to know about previous era. Although I have a theory that previous era is actually Genshin Impact. That I'm gonna talk about later. So we know with time, power creep's gonna get every Valkyrie that is old, because with power scaling, every single Valkyrie that we are getting about every single month it is stronger than the previous one. With this, the older walkers get discarded to the side. I'm not talking about the recent ones. I'm talking about the way older walkers like Sniper, the Phantom Iron, the Gakushin Miko, the older ones, Sniper, Bronya. I'm talking about all those walkers. I don't want them to be like perfect, like they are the meta walks, but they should be enough to sustain us for our creativity. Like we want to do some creative builds. So if they aren't even good at giving us some sort of support or some sort of DPS, then what's even the point of them in being in the game, right? This is the same issue I gave Mihoyo as a feedback for the Mithras shop. I seriously told them that what's the point of Mithras shop when there's not even a single good thing in the shop? And they seem to agree with me on that point, and they removed the shop. I love older walkways. And this might also sound like a rant, but it actually isn't. This is a simply rational way of me saying we wanna try different types of creative builds, but we cannot because those walkways cannot even provide a sustainable DPS. Even we have some great support behind them, or even we have great, let's say, equipments behind them. The Valkyries needs like base 30 to 40 50% total damage multiplier passive, because after a certain point of time in the game, like when we break the ceiling, the Valkyries become a lot harder to use because they are super weak in the 80 plus level. So it would be kind of me here to give like 50% total damage multiplier to every single Valkyrie as a passive that are old. There are old B rank Valkyries. I'm not saying the S ranks, even though the Dimension Breaker is a S rank, but she's useless. No one uses her, and more Valkyries that are S rank, they can use like 20% total damage multiplier. That's all I'm saying. Give them a little tweak after 80 plus level. So this is a one way of them saying you can still use the older Valkyries if you want to. We're not gonna hold you back this time. Creativity should not be hold it back. I love this game because when I started playing there was metrics and I played all sorts of weird builds, and that's what kept me going. So thank my dog is barking now. Okay, I'm gonna go now. Thanks for listening to my TED talk. Thank you everyone. Bye bye. Okay, before I end the video, notice how I said earlier in the video about a creepy bug that I wanted to talk about. Let's talk about that bug quickly. I want to know this is just not me because this is really creepy, and let me tell you what that bug does. And I also talked about it in the customer service, and they wanted a video proof, and I'm gonna give the video proof right now. So what this bug does, it can it can remove all audio on any random stage you are playing. It can be a story stage, it can be a memorial arena, it can be a base, it can be anything, and it can choose what to remove from an audio that you cannot do as a video editor. Like at first, when I first saw this bug, I thought maybe I should give the video, and then I realized that the bug actually just removed all the audio. So the video will not make any difference to them because they will probably think I'm pranking them because there's no audio. It's like someone removed the audio from the game. So I never gave them the video as a proof. This is the bug, so I'm gonna try to explain everything. As you can see, the audio is maxed out. Here, all the audio system are working, but you can only listen to the voiceover and some effects, and that's about it. And this is really creepy, and you can see me tweaking the audios and showing off that every single thing is working, and after I save it and go back to playing the game, now every single audio is removed. This is such a creepy bug. I have never witnessed anything like that. It can happen on the fly on any other stage you are playing, and all of a sudden every audio is gone, or a single part of a single audio is working. It can be just audio effects. The game will be playing just like normal. You can play the game just like normal, but the audio effects are working, or only the audio effects are not working. It is so weird, and I really need them to fix this because this is creepy. This is something. I think someone is messing up with my phone and tweaking every single values that I don't know about, because you cannot remove audio effects from the game, and I don't know what's happening here. Please me fix this, and that's about it. So thank you for watching my videos. Honestly, I want to share one thing with you guys. For the last few weeks, almost a month, I've been feeling a little down about my whole YouTube situation. I feel like I'm getting subscribers for no reason, and that's been bugging me for the last month. So I wanted to do something. This video is a month late, I know that, because I've been working on this video for a month because I wanted to make better videos for you guys. So now I know how much effort and time it takes to make a better video. Next time, I'm gonna be prepared for it. And also, I live in India, and right now in India, we have a festival season, and right next to me is a temple, and they have some huge speakers on the top. And you should know where this is going. Even if your house is like at the side of the temple, it still feels like you're getting blasted from all angles because of the sheer size of those loudspeakers. And yeah, it's been really frustrating for me to record a single video in just a single sitting. And that's about it. Thanks for listening to me. That's all I wanted to say. And have a great night. Bye bye. Take care.